So I'm that person who has searched for the meaning of my life for so long. What is my purpose? Why am I here? How do we get here? Because being a human, we want to know the answers to these questions. We want to know what our purpose is. If we don't have a purpose, then what are we doing? We can't just float around going, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? We need to be striving for something. Because if you think about it, at every stage of our life, we're striving for something. When you're a baby, you are striving to walk and talk and move around. When you're a child, you can't wait to become a teenager. When you're a teenager, you can't wait till you can drive. When you become an adult, when you're an adult, you can't wait to settle down and get married and buy a house. When you're in a job, you can't wait to get a better position or make more money or create these new goals. How much more money can I make? When can I retire? When can I go on holidays? How much bigger can my house be? Because if you don't have that drive for something, if you don't have a reason for you to get up every day to move forward, then what's the point? What's going to drive you? What's going to move you? Even if it's something where you believe your purpose, or that you have to help people, or you have to create this thing, or you have to look after your children, you will always have something to give you that drive towards your everyday, whatever it looks like. But what happens when you lose all of that? What happens when you don't have your goals anymore? What happens if you don't have all those things that you were aiming for? And for me, when my husband passed away, it was everything just stopped. It's like, what do I do now? Because part of what happens when you are married to someone for so long, that all your goals become joined up together, and you have these communal goals as a partnership, as a family, as these things that you want to create together, as these things that you want to do together. But when you lose that person, what do you have left? So what happens is you start to realize that all those things that you were trying to create together were based on things that you knew that you didn't have in that moment, and you were trying to create them in your life. You were in that space of believing that you didn't have it, and that it was out of your reach, and it was something that you were striving for. And you would have known by reading any other manifesting book or listening to anyone else, you have to feel like you already have it. And I remember when I first heard that, I was like, what if you don't know? If you are striving for something that you want, and you have to get into that energy of having it, what if you don't know what that feels like? Of course, we can imagine, we can create a place and a feeling of what we think it will make us feel like. We truly don't know. So how do we get into that state of having that thing if we've never done it before? And so that is one of the reasons why we create from the space of being in that space of who we are, so that attracts to us. Because we could get into that space and go, okay, me as a millionaire, that is going to feel like this. Yes, this is what a millionaire feels like. Does it? We don't know that. If you haven't been one, how do you know? What you want to feel is good. You want to have that feeling, that luxury of being able to pay for things when you want, of being able to go to places when you want, of being able to help people, in being able to buy things and feel free and feel accomplished with whatever we're doing, whatever the reason is. It's not, oh, I just want to feel like a millionaire. It's because we want to be able to do all those things which are going to make us feel good, because we're still working towards that goal. So without that goal, once you're on your own, you're rediscovering who you are, you're trying to learn how to manifest, but you want to try and be yourself, but you also want to try and have all these things, because yes, you still want money, you still want experiences, you still want to buy things, but you don't want to do it from the place of, oh, here it is, let me pull it in. Instead, you want to bring it from here and allow it to come to you. Because one of the things I realized when I was writing this book is the way in which every single thing that I've created along the way, and let me tell you, I've created a lot of things, different programs and courses and memberships and different types of businesses, from t-shirts and books and affiliate marketing and drop shipping, you name it, I did it. But it was all from the place of, this is me learning about it. I've always been someone who learns things pretty quickly and just wants, I need a little bit of information, then I'll just run with it. I'll work it out. I don't need the whole kit and caboodle. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I have been down the rabbit hole so hard that there's some topics that I've actually even purchased like 5 or 6 courses on just so I could really understand it. But what I found is, in the way that I was creating, in the way that I was creating these offers and these things I wanted to put out to people, was, yes, there was an end goal of, oh, I want people to feel this or learn this or experience this, or, oh, I want to make this amount of money, or, oh, I want to be successful in this area because of blah, blah, blah. So even though I still had these goals that I thought were what I was striving for, it actually wasn't even about that. It was about the process I was going through in creating those offers, in the way that I was expressing myself with what they are. And it didn't matter if I had 10 people, 10 million, or 0 people purchase or engage with any of those things. It was the process in which I was sharing it. It was the process in which I was teaching, but I was also learning. Even though I thought I'd already learned everything, I was using the enough knowledge that I had to be able to bring it forward towards others, which then allowed me to experience another layer of it. So it wasn't actually in the act of creating that thing and working towards that end goal. It was in me expressing myself through that new layer, that new level of something that I was trying to embody. And the way for me to embody that was to share that with other people by saying, hey, I know how to do this now. Let me show you how I can do this. And this chapter that I'm talking about, I've actually called it, I Can Do Whatever I Want. And it sounds like, oh, I'm a little toddler standing in the yard telling the little teacher, I can do whatever I want. And we all know a small child that has said that before. If you have children, you will totally understand what I mean. But I am coming from the place of, I can do whatever I want, because now that I am no longer in a partnership, we no longer have those combined goals. I can create a future based on the things that I want and the way that I want to express, but I can do it in whatever way wants to come through. I can do whatever I want, which is not just, I can do whatever I want. If there is a desire that is coming through me that wants to express, it means that I can do it. Because in that journey of creating all those things so far up until this point, I noticed with this book, it wasn't about me teaching something that I just learned or teaching something that I wanted to embody more. It was something that just created by itself. Because ultimately, the book's not about money. It's not about manifesting money. It's about feeling good, because I feel good all the time, and not just, oh, I feel good, yeah. It's like this level of joy and happiness, and it's not because of any of those things that I wanted. It's not, because I've manifested $1 million or the dream car or the dream house. I just feel good all the time, and it's regardless of what's happening around me. It's regardless of what's in the bank, what I'm driving, where I'm living, where I'm going. It's that feeling inside, and it's from that buildup of doing those creations that were driving me to create, which was allowing me to express myself in certain ways, to allow those layers to come up and out, and have more time in that feeling good place, which eventually, obviously, here's an example, becomes more of your normal. So it doesn't matter what I actually do now. It doesn't matter what I create. It doesn't matter what the goal is. It doesn't matter how this all plays out. I'm just here to share my experience in the way that I have found that I can now exist in this space where everything just feels good, because everyone wants to do what they want. We have these limitations that we place on ourselves, believing that we can't because we don't have the money, we don't have the means, we don't have the experience, we don't have the people around us. And I'm not saying that instantly you change your mind and all these things appear. It's in that process of believing that it's possible, believing that you can have all those things, in believing that you can have that feeling before you actually have those things. But it's not the feeling of having that thing, it's the feeling, the ultimate feeling of who you are when you are in this joyous, contented state. So then you can have whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, because it won't matter anymore. And you won't need to worry about whether you have this relationship, whether you have this money, whether you have this experience. It all just becomes fun and joyous, no matter what's happening or what you're doing. Even though you're still trying to create those things, you know that they'll come to you as they need to. You know that they'll come to you in the way that is going to work best for you. And eventually this becomes so easy, it's literally like a breath. It's just like when you breathe in and you breathe in all this information and all these ideas and all these beliefs and all these stories and everything, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you can't hold anymore, and then you have to let it all out. And this is the letting out. This book is the letting out. This is the finding the pieces within all the pieces that work for you. And the only way you're going to do that is by doing the process that works for you. And the only way you're going to do that is the way that you do that. I can't tell you, oh, listen to me and everything's going to be amazing. You're going to learn all these wonderful things and that's all you need. Follow my steps and you too can be amazing. I will never spruce that. I will never tell you that this is the only way. I heard that from so many people. Nope, it's not true. You will find your own way. You will find your own little path, whatever it looks like. And there is no straight path. It's not even a zigzag path. It's literally a chaotic mess where you will jump from here to here to here to here to here to here to here. And you will think, oh my God, this is so messy. This is not working. But that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's exactly you going from here to here to here to here to here, learning all these things, creating all these things, desiring all these things, doing all these things. And eventually, without you even noticing, you will get to this place and you will look back and go, oh my goodness, I'm here, I did it. And that's without having the money, without having the cars, without having all this, whatever it is that you think you need right now, you won't have any of that. You'll just have a different you who is now attracting everything to you. And there's such a difference in that. And it's hard to take on board when the rest of the world is not saying that. And I'm telling you from someone who's been through the depths of hell over the last few years, who can still sit here and say that and feel that. And it's not delusionary. It's not spiritual bypassing. It's not ignoring what everyone else is saying. It's just finding a different way. And we're all going to find our own way. And if we're finding our own way, we should be able to do whatever we want. So everything I say inside this course, if you're reading the book, if you're doing both, my word is not gospel. Everything I say is something that I wanted to say in the moment. Even creating these videos, I'm trying to recreate what I've written. These words are nothing like what I've written, so you might need to do both. But it's the same principle of what I'm talking about. It's just me expressing my experience in this moment. And you're going to take what you need from it, and that is going to be enough. So take what you can, reject what you don't want, whatever it is, but just always trust in yourself and your message and your belief and whatever else it is that you want to be true for you. And I feel like I say that all the time and I feel like a broken record, but it's literally the most important piece is you being you.